Yeah.
And we're starting.
Okay.
This is Never Tell Me the Odds. I'm James Azile, and joining me right now is a very special guest, and your name is?
Christine,
Hey, Christine. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Pretty good, thanks. You've been watching us. You support us on Patreon. This is Never Tell Me the Odds. You have some of the hardest odds of all time for us to discuss today. No pressure. No pressure. Before we get into anything, though, just tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how you got into Star Wars.
Sure. Okay. Gosh. I think I remember seeing it like when I was maybe 10 or something like that with my parents. Like, I remember my mom showed it to me and was like, "You guys have to see this." And I remember watching it and being like, "Oh, it was fine." But those are like the originals. And then, um, I think I remember watching those like once in my childhood and not really being super into it. Um, but then I was about the age when the prequels came out, when I like would start going to the cinema and seeing all of them. So I remember going to see Phantom Menace and thinking the pod race was like the coolest thing ever. And I remember also thinking Jar Jar was pretty much one of the coolest things ever. So I don't get Jar Jar haters because my sisters and I loved him. So I'm definitely one of those kids that I think it might have been you guys talking about like how kids who saw Jar Jar in the theater would grow up loving Jar Jar. So I was definitely one of them. And I remember also that Revenge of the Sith was one of the first movies I cried in when all the Jedi get killed during Order 66 because it was just so sad. And it was like one of the first movies I remember really having like a conscious emotional reaction to, like seeing all these characters that I had like kind of got to know and love die, which was really a bummer. But even then, I think I was like kind of into Star Wars, not really. Um, and then I think I just kind of rediscovered it when sometime maybe in university, like I think just maybe meeting more people that are into it, because where I grew up is like a really tiny island, and there were a whole lot of people that were like really into it. So it was just kind of my sisters and I like sort of battling it out with like our one lightsaber that we shared. But then going off to college and like meeting other people that were into it and getting into it that way. And then obviously when the sequel trilogy came out, like by that time I was a hardcore fan. Um, I definitely am like more of a conscious fan. Like I'm one of the people that I watched the sequel trilogy, for example, like Attack of the Clones, and I'm like, yeah, this film really isn't good, and so I can't be conscious like recommend it as like one of the top films for somebody to watch, but I love it. So I'm definitely one of the people that is like, yeah, I could see how someone looking at this would maybe question my taste, but I love it, and have just yeah been getting more into it like ever since.
Awesome. I love that point of view for the prequels and Revenge of the Sith because I was older when they came out, so I never had that. It hit me in a completely different way. That's awesome to hear that. I love those stories. Love hearing about people's reactions to movies that we all have different ones and different points of view going into them. It's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty cool.
All right, let's get into the odds. Your odds are all going to be about why Attack of the Clones is the best movie of all time. I'll go first on
Yeah,
the odd.
obviously.
And my first odd is an easy one. Well, will we see Rey turn to the dark side in Rise of Skywalker? And the reason why I'm asking that is because she's wearing all white, which typically will tell us that she is actually good. But maybe she's got a little bit of darkness under that. What do you think?
Yeah, well, that actually kind of ties in with one of my odds, which I'll say in a moment. So I mean, I think I'd probably go pretty low on this. I'd say like maybe 3%, something like that. Because I think they very have clearly set her up as the good guy. Like she is going to be the person who, in whatever way, whether that's like she's Luke's secret daughter or she's gonna carry on the Skywalker mantle or I don't know, start the Jedi process all over again. I don't know. But she's definitely been set up as the person who's going to carry on the Skywalker legacy. So I think it's pretty low that she's going to turn to the dark side. I think what we could see, though, and this maybe ties in with some of the GDP appearances that we might see is her being more tempted to the dark side again, maybe this time by like a higher power. So maybe it's not Kylo just trying to turn her. I don't know if he's going to try and do that again, but maybe we'll see that temptation there again. And I think that could be a really legitimate point. I wonder actually, depending on how the Emperor comes back, maybe we'll see him trying to make Rey his apprentice instead of Kylo. I think it'd be really interesting if like there's, maybe whatever they're looking for, this sort of MacGuffin, if it's something to do with the Emperor, like maybe instead of Kylo discovering that the Emperor is alive and, kind of joining forces with him, that it's Rey, and that actually the Emperor wants her to kind of become his apprentice because he senses that she is more powerful than Kylo. So I think that could happen, but I definitely don't see her turning dark side.
Yeah, I like that idea. Do you think maybe because we're 3 movies in now that it might be too late for the Emperor to want her to be, you know what I mean? Like, shouldn't that have happened in the second movie?
Maybe, but I guess we didn't really have him really tempt Anakin until he knew he was like ready. Like he kind of conditioned him, didn't he? Like kind of from his childhood, because he could have kind of done it there, and in some ways that might have been easier. Like, let me take this child and basically like influence him while he's young. But it was like a really slow build. So maybe he's almost been trying to like break her down in a way and wait till she's fully developed her power. So I don't know. It could be something we could see. I think it would be interesting if we do see some sort of face off between her and the Emperor. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go low as well. I'm gonna go 7%, a little bit higher than you, but still,
Okay.
low. All right, and what's your odd?
Okay. So my first odd is the odds that C3PO knowingly sacrifices himself for the Resistance.
I don't like this odd. Pass.
He said bring.
If you go back to what you just said, it got me. We heard a lot about the MacGuffins and how it could be C3PO's memories, and when you think about it, he was around for the prequels, right? I mean, minus Phantom Menace, he knows all about CVP. He was there in Attack of the Clones at the end, and he was there for Revenge of the Sith. And then obviously he's with Bail Organa on the Tantive 4 at the end. I have to go either full Brock or higher. Yeah, I'm going to go 67% because that's a good one. I think if what we've heard is true about everything, then yeah, that would make sense. He might be too dangerous to be kept alive, or maybe, they need to, take all of his memories away from him, and that's a form of sacrifice for him. And the only way to do, and that's the only way they can destroy CVP once and for all. So I'm gonna go 67%. That's a good one. I don't like it though.
Do you think that your odd would change if it was less about him, like, as you say, if it's something about his memories, like maybe that will be him having to be like shut down or his memories erased in some way? Do you think your odd would change if it was him, like having to almost, I don't know if die is the right word because he's, like a robot, a droid, but having to almost like be the distraction and in the big battle scene? We have like that part in the teaser trailer with him and Finn and Poe. Like if that kind of climaxes in someone having to be left behind and he chooses to do it, like do you think your odd would change if it was something like that?
Yeah, so we did a Never Tell Me the Odds a couple months ago at Toronto Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But only a few people saw it because the audio didn't really work. But anyway, because Andrew's been saying a lot that he's like 3PO needs his moment, and I think that's what he's kind of hoping for, is something along those lines. And I think that would be fun to see, and it might change. It might go higher actually. Maybe 77% for him to be a distraction, because he's not a life form, right? So really he could kind of agree to do that. And there are other rumors about Dio's role. And if that's the case, maybe I'll go 80. I'm going to go 87% on that, on the rephrasing odd. I'm going to go even higher. How about you?
Yeah, I think thinking about it, mine are pretty high as well. I think I'd probably go something like 75%, 80%. I think if I see it, it would be probably more the second one, like him sacrificing himself to save the others, like, and kind of, yeah, choosing to be that distraction. And I almost maybe feel about it from like a strategic point of view, maybe from the filmmakers. I don't know if that's cheating or not, but like in order to make it care about the film, they have to kill off somebody is kind of my logic. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, are they going to kill off Ray? I don't think so. Are they going to kill off Finn or Poe? I don't think so. They've already tried to kill off Rose and they didn't really. So who are they going to kill off that makes us care, but it's not so important that we like hate the film because we're really mad at them that they killed a key character off. And I almost feel like C3PO is one of those options. And I think it would kind of fit like with the end, with the whole Skywalker arc, maybe like, it fits with your idea of R2 being shut down at the very end, and maybe that's like more okay with it. It's sad, but like maybe he's more okay with it because his partner in crime, who's been there from the beginning, isn't there anymore. So I could almost see that working really well. Like we finally have gotten rid of all the last remnants of Skywalker's story. And I think it would be a really good way for him to go out. So yeah, I think I'd probably go like 75%, 80%.
I think, the way you said in the battlefield, going out heroic, like saving everybody. If this, because George Lucas always said that he envisioned R2 was telling these stories in the future, and it almost seems like if he was telling these stories, that's how 3PO would go out. Like 3PO would go out as this heroic guy because they were, as much as they argued with each other, they were besties, right? So, that 100% now. That's how it has to go. I would love that idea. I don't want it, but I want R2 to be shut down for good at the very end, and I want his point of view, and the iris is out, and that's how I want it to end. And
I'm definitely tears.
I'm getting sad. And my final odd for the day is: will we hear? What are the odds that we will hear the voice of James Earl Jones in The Rise of Skywalker?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Everybody wants Hayden Christensen and Anakin, but Kylo's talking to Vader's helmet, and that voice is so synonymous with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to end it somehow with that voice coming back?
So, I mean, I love Darth Vader. He's probably one of the best villains of all time, and I think that's pretty widely agreed. And I think, when he came back in Rogue One, we were all so excited. I mean, that personally for me is not one of my favorite Star Wars movies, but I loved the bit with Darth Vader. So I would love to see an appearance from him. I think my odd on this would be pretty low, though, so I think I'd maybe go something like maybe 20%, only because I just feel like almost like that would be taking away from bringing the Emperor back. Like we don't know what the Emperor's role is yet, and there's obviously all kinds of rumors about is he a clone? Is it just a Force vision? Is he a Force ghost? Like, we don't know. But to bring somebody else back on top of it, I feel like would almost be like too much nostalgia, and then would maybe detract from the Emperor being there. And I guess also we have to think about like the rule of two. Although saying that, I'm thinking like maybe he could come back in like a vision or something like that. But still, I don't know. I just feel like it would take away from GVP being there. He seems to be the kind of new bad guy that they're flaunting. And if they bring Darth Vader back as a surprise, it would just kind of be repeating Rogue One. So I think it could happen. If it does, it's very likely going to be in like maybe a vision or a dream or something like that. and maybe we could hear James Earl Jones in that capacity. But I think it's probably going to be pretty low. I think they're going to want to highlight that the Emperor is back. So I'm going to go 22%.
22%. Yeah, I think it's got to be low as well. I mean, I don't even know how you would. I think if there are a lot of flashbacks, maybe you can throw them in some flashbacks. But yeah, the minute you hear that voice, the minute you anything Vader, I think it's kind of like when J.J. Abrams was talking about writing The Force Awakens, and he said anytime Luke was in a scene, he just sucked the life out of the scene because it was all about him.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel like Vader would have to be the same way. The minute you put Vader somewhere, it's all about Vader. When Vader shows up in Rogue One, just like you said, it's all about Vader. And we all get excited for it, but who cares about what's going on around him? It's Vader. So I'm going to go low. I'm going to go a little bit higher than you. I'll go 30%, just because if they do the force backs and flashbacks and all that fun stuff, I can see them bringing him in that capacity. But I don't. Yeah, you can't take away from anything else that's going on. Not that we know what's going on, so it might just be the Vader and Emperor show. They might just be doing a film version of Lords of the Sith. We don't know. We don't know. All right, why don't you take us home with our final odd today?
Yeah, I was gonna say though, I think Hayden Christensen is much more likely if that was an odd. I think that's definitely gonna happen. I think it's pretty high that Rey's gonna see some Force ghosts, and Anakin is gonna be one of them. So yeah, I definitely see that more than Darth Vader. So. Right. So let me think. Okay, so my last odd. I try and wrote it down so it's not confusing, but it might be confusing. Okay, so what are the odds? Never tell me the odds that Kylo and Ren will have to face off to the death, but one of them really wants to kill the other, and the other one does not. Ooh. So you have the two of them facing off. I don't know which one. I'm leaving it open to interpretation, but one of them really wants to kill the other. The other one doesn't want to be in that fight.
Mine's gonna be a few points to this. I think that'll happen fairly early on, if it happens at all. Okay. And it will be Rey will want to kill Kylo, but Kylo won't want to kill Rey. And that'll lead to a moment of understanding between the two of them. I'm gonna go 60%. 60%. It happens early. Rey tries really hard to defeat Kylo. Kylo doesn't want anything to do with killing Rey. And then by the end of it, he kind of convinces her to stop the fight because they have to team up and kill Sheevy P. I'm going to go 61%. I like that idea. It brings a dynamic to the duel that you need those kind of dynamics, and I like that one. So 61% for me.
Okay. Yeah. I think the odds would change depending on who it is, because my question was, are they going to try and do the Luke Vader thing again in a way? Because we've heard a lot of rumors about, or a lot of people wanting Kylo to be redeemed, and is Rey going to kind of do the thing Luke did with Darth Vader, his dad Vader, and kind of he's trying to kill her, but she wants to redeem him, or she wants him to see the light. So I think if Ben is going to be redeemed, and it seems like a lot of things are leaning that way, that I think I almost see it the other way around being more likely. So Rey having to, wanting to convert, I guess, Kylo back to the light side, and him not wanting to, or him really struggling to, which I think could still lead to them teaming up, but I think I kind of see it the other way, and maybe more as a climax of the film, so maybe a little bit later on. But I think that could definitely be really high, so I think I'd probably go, maybe a little higher. I'd say maybe 80 or 90%. I think we're definitely going to have a face-off where one of them is trying. I think she's definitely going to fight Kylo at some point and want to
Yeah.
try and convert him. I think that's going to be pretty certain. So I think yeah, 85%, and it's going to happen towards the climax of the movie.
Yeah, I think that we're definitely going to get a lightsaber duel between them, and it's going to be epic, and that's what I think. But yeah, I don't know. That's going to be interesting. I mean, what if the whole team up has nothing to do with those two, and it's actually Rey needs to go to CVP to get him to help take down Kylo?
Plot twist.
Yeah. Oh my God, the
She
Emperor's been
converts
good.
she converts CVP to the light side.
Yes,
And
finally. I knew there was good in him. I sensed that in the Phantom Menace, right from the get go. That was a lot of fun. I like those odds. I'm gonna love going back and rewatching this after we see Rise of Skywalker and be like, ooh, wow.
yeah,
How wrong were we, or how right were we? Who knows? Probably, I was probably wrong on everything because
we don't know. It's still so early, isn't it? So
7 months to go.
yeah.
7 months. Did you buy your ticket yet?
So I'm waiting till a payday, and then obviously I'll be buying, midnight premiere.
Yeah.
We get
Right.
a lot of premieres here. Where I live, being in a big city, so maybe I'll be able to sneak in and see all the stars and ask them.
That'd be awesome. And if you do that, bring a microphone and
Yeah,
ask them all of these odds and see if
yeah,
you get an answer beforehand.
yeah.
All right.
Who's more right?
All right, Christine, thanks so much for joining me on Never Tell Me the Odds. Well, one thing though, do you want to plug? You have your new Twitter handle. Do you want to plug all that?
Oh, yeah, sure. So I have just started a new Twitter handle where I'm trying to balance being being a troll and being an active member of the Twitter community. It's being hard, but that you can find me at the Art of Nerd One, and hear my various musings on different Star Wars and other nerd related topics.
Yeah, check out the Honor one. I follow it. You had a great poll up the other day, so keep those going. You got good reaction to that too. That was awesome. The conversation that was being had below it.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. All right, thank you so much. I hope you have a good day. I hope everybody watching has a good day. Please give us a like and a subscribe. Thanks for joining us, and as always, may the force of others be with you.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.